Our beloved main character, Isagiyoichi, has been cooking in the kitchen ever since the serialization of Muneyuki Kanashiro's Blue Lock. Throughout the story, Isagi's cooking has become better and better, so let's rank every goal he has scored in Blue Lock. In the last spot, we've got Isagi's new direct shot. In Chapter 45, Isagi initiated the kickoff as he passed the ball to Bachira. Nagi passed the ball back to Isagi as he realized that this distance and timing is his range. Isagi was focusing on the ball without needing any unnecessary power, which is how he created his new direct shot that he tested out at the start of the second selection. The reason this goal is in last place is because Itoshi Rin's team was just trying to see what they were capable of, which makes it a free goal, similar to Rin's goal against the World 5. If you resonate with my content, consider subscribing. In the 11th spot, we've got Isagi's regular direct shot. In Chapter 13, Isagi intercepted the ball before it could reach Okawa, as he knew that Nico was always going to pass to him. Isagi told Nico that Okawa smelled like a goal more than anyone else, as he realized that Nico and him see and think the same things, which is why, instead of shooting the ball himself, he passed the ball to Okawa. But this is Isagi's victory, as he chose to pass at a critical moment, which is why he told Nico that he doesn't have what it takes to become a striker. He passed the ball to Kunigami, as Isagi still regrets that time he chose to pass, which ended in his loss and in tears. Isagi doesn't need to be the same person he was back then, as the thing he desires the most is winning. The time to change is now. Isagi was running down the field as Bachira passed the ball towards the egoist Isagiyoichi. This is the moment where the Blue Lock fans really felt that Isagi is the main character, since it's the first goal he has scored in a Blue Lock match. In the 10th spot, we've got Isagi's back heel shot. In Chapter 81, Isagi was tailing Baru as he used Tokimitsu and Baru's battle to get the ball to himself. Bachira tried to deny Isagi to advance, as Baru was asking for the ball, because he knew that Isagi wouldn't be able to get through the field with his mediocre dribble skills. Nagi requested the ball from Isagi now, as he wanted to pass the ball around with him. Isagi insisted to do it though, as Rin is always watching over everything, waiting for the perfect opportunity to pounce. Isagi was waiting for this pileup though, as everyone was waiting for him to pass. He passed the ball to an open space in front of Chigiri, and with the anticipation of Chigiri's pass, they were rushing to the penalty box. While everyone else is struggling to gain the upper hand, Isagi will disappear into the far side of Rin's field of vision and cut towards the inside. Taking the shortest route, he'll break diagonally to the goal post and requested the ball from Chigiri. Chigiri was passing towards Isagi in the box, as Isagi saw the future that he envisioned. Isagi thought that the goal was wide open for his goal, since the penalty box is the best place to fire his direct shot. But little did he know that Itoshi Rin saw everything and was preparing to snatch the spotlight away from him. Isagi didn't expect it at all. Even though he broke away that perfectly, Rin still managed to keep up as he got in the range to block his shot. Isagi didn't think he could shoot like this, as his ego suddenly shattered with him, thinking that he couldn't beat Rin after all. But he quickly got the fire in his eyes back, as he thinks he's got Rin by the palm of his hand. Isagi knew that Rin would be able to stop him if Isagi got to the ball, but on the flip side, this means that Rin has to step out to block his shot. Now that Isagi anticipates what Rin is going to do, he got in his blind spot. Since he didn't shoot, but feint instead, he has already taken that last step, which means that he fell behind, as he had a different idea for his true last move, which is a back heel shot. In the 9th spot, we've got Isagi's Naruhaya direct shot. In Chapter 54, Isagi dashed up the field when Nagi received the ball, as he thought about the idea of using his and Naruhaya's weapon combined. He was convinced that it could help to reach the level of geniuses. Isagi and Baru were going head-to-head now, as Isagi realized that when it came to moving around without he ball, the thing he was still lacking were the eyes of the opponent. He thought about the body's structure, as a human's field of vision is only in front of them. So whenever someone needs to check their surroundings, they have to move their head for that to be possible. Right now, Baru is looking at Isagi, who is close to him, and Nagi, who is following a bit behind while holding the ball. Bauru needs to be aware of both of them, but because of their positions, it's impossible to keep tabs on both of them at the same time. Baru needs to check on the ball sometimes, and in that second, he can get in his blind spot. Baru will move reflexively to find Isagi, which is when he will move the opposite way again. It looked like Isagi had it figured out, as he wanted Nagi to pass the ball to him, which is exactly exactly what he did. This is when he defeated Baru in a 1 versus 1 situation. Naruhaya realized Isagi was using his move as that was his step work, but it was too late as Isagi was going to an unknown territory called the Territory of Geniuses and rammed the ball into the left upper corner of the net. In the 8th spot, we've got the spatial awareness direct shot goal, which was his second goal in a blue lock match. In chapter 36, Isagi was preparing for the last play as he could see and feel that Chigiri, Kunigami, and Isagi himself could get the ball rolling. Isagi felt a goal scent emitting from those three as he'd become the bridge for that goal with his eyes, brain, and foresight. This counter was the last play, and if the ball got stolen, it would have been game over as Ryo was desperate to stop him. Isagi believed that he would be the one to score as Ryo missed his tackle and Isagi passed the ball to Bachira. Isagi wanted him to cut through the enemy line, which is what he did through his dribbling skills. Isagi noticed that they were ready to stop him, even if that meant fouling him, which is why Isagi wants to support him for the time being. Isagi received the ball from Bachira as he didn't want to ball's momentum to be stopped as it was a direct route from here. He was looking at Chigiri as he wanted him to run through the field with his quick legs, which is exactly what he did. They were doing some tiki-taka, but little did Chigiri know that Isagi used him as a decoy to gather the defense to that side, which means that he thinks he can shoot it by himself. Everything was going just as Isagi predicted, as it was just another 45 meters to the goal, which is actually quite a lot. Isagi has got control over the entire field, so his resolve stands firm for wanting to be the one to score. There were only 35 meters left to the goal now, as there were only 2 defenders ahead of Isagi. He was convinced that Kunigami and him would destroy them. If they could get past them, the keeper would be the only one left. Zantetsu suddenly came in with a tackle, though, and intercepted the ball. He was faster than Isagi predicted. Raichi passed the ball to Bachira as Isagi saw it now. To make sure they received the pass from Bachira, Chigiri, and Kunigami went for the straightforward route to the goal, and there would only be 2 defenders to stop them, which is why he went to the far side of the pitch, which was 19 meters from the goal at the left side of the penalty box. That empty patch is where he would make his goal happen, as he'd be one-on-one with the goalkeeper if he got there without any issues. Isagi is still convinced that they'll win, as he is asking for ball from Bachira. Isagi wanted Bachira to look at him. Bachira was passing the ball towards Isagi again, as Bachira states that he believes in him, and also highlighted that this is their last chance to turn the tables against Team V. The pass was going towards Isagi like he predicted. He thought that he could just trap the ball, make it a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and everything would end smoothly, but little did he know that a wild Nagise Shiro was on the loose, preparing to put Isagi into despair. Isagi's goal scent disappeared, as he was wondering how Nagi got there after everything he had done. We figure out that the reason Nagi got to the scene so quickly is because he realized that Isagi was the biggest threat on the field. Isagi didn't know what he should do, even though he was closer to the ball than Nagi. Isagi would be the first to make contact with the ball, which means that this is a game of first touch. It will all be decided with the trap, as Nagi Seishiro got on the inside of Isagi. With this trajectory, if Isagi goes for the usual trap, Nagi would have just enough time to circle in front of him and block the shot, which is why a regular trap isn't going to work on him. Isagi has to move like Nagi did back then, as he needs to execute a high-level shot from the trap. Isagi doubts if he can even do something like that, though, as the game is over if he messes up. Isagi reckoned that it's impossible, as he can't even picture the goal, even though he finally arrived at the field's future. Isagi isn't able to see the future where they win. Nagi didn't think Isagi could beat him, as Chigiri and Kunigami were asking Isagi to pass to them. Isagi didn't want to pass, though, as he wanted to win with his own goal. At this moment, he suddenly remembered Ego Jinpachi saying that what they need right now is a formula to produce and create as many goals as it takes, and he remembers Nagi saying that he wastes a lot of chances. The thing that stopped Isagi from thinking was the trap piece, and when he goes for the trap, the Isagi he visualizes on the field for his predictions is a regular person. However, that's not good enough, though, as he remembered him shooting Kira in the face in the final seconds and scoring his first goal in Blue Lock, which is how he remembered what his final piece consists of, which is where he combines his spatial awareness with the direct shot and shoots the ball straight towards the right upper corner. In the 7th spot, we've got the main actor direct shot. In chapter 64, Kunigami passed the ball to Isagi as he read where the pass would come from, as he managed to tackle the ball away from Isagi. Baru was running towards the ball as it came into his lap. This would have been the big big chance for him to become the main actor, as his shooting zone is free now. If he carries the ball 2 or 3 meters in one touch, he would be able to reach his 28-meter shooting range and steal a goal, but Chigiri is faster than him. If he took the time to touch the ball once, Chigiri would be able to catch up to him. He didn't know what to do, so he was wondering if he should shoot outside of his range. He completely blacks out, though, as he felt that he was one step behind and saw Isagi running in front of him as the possibilities increased. Baru almost shat his pants and passed the ball to Isagi. Unintentionally and unconsciously, Baru was bowing down to Isagi. At that moment, Baru Shoei was finally forced to realize that Isagi was the main actor of the field as he rammed the ball into the right upper corner. In the 6th spot, we've got the Devour direct shot. In Chapter 62, Nagi passed the ball to Isagi as they couldn't let them have the next goal, but because of the things that happened so far, they're more cautious about Nagi's movements. Since Chigiri couldn't stop Nagi by himself, Reo is marking Isagi in a way to not let him pass to Nagi. And even if he'd managed to, they're positioned as to be able to overwhelm him with numbers. Kunigami is clearly not too worried about Baru, though. You could also say that just doing that much is enough to stop him. Baru is already useless when it came to that match, which is the common belief of everyone on the field. His routes to Nagi were narrowed down indeed, which meant that there's a high chance of failure in it, which is why he chose Baru instead. He ran behind Baru as Isagi's true intention is to bait Kunigami with Baru's charge. Isagi's real aim is the genius Nagi Sishiro as he passed the ball to Nagi. Isagi dribbled as if he was about to pass to Baru, but his real aim was to lower their focus on Nagi to create a pass course for him. Isagi noticed that everyone was focusing on his play, which meant that they were in a space that only Isagi could see. This was the moment where he bursted out of the darkness of their blind spot. Nagi saw Isagi's intentions and passed the ball to Isagi. In order for Isagi to get in front of the jail, Baru was used as bait. Isagi realized that no matter how much you try to understand other people's hearts, people aren't able to change others, and that's why you have to change yourself in order to change the world if nothing's going how you want it to go. If he can't see the light leading to a goal, then he has to become that light. Baru got a front row seat to Isagi, adapting to him, and devoured the darkness he created on the field while turning it into light. In the 5th spot, we've got the first Metavision direct shot. In Chapter 103, Nanase passed the ball to Isagi as Isagi reckoned that it was the last chance to prove himself. Even if he could formulate a vision of himself beating Rin and Shido, with his current physical capabilities, he can't catch up, which is when he thought about the thing Hiyori said about doing his thought process in reverse. Isagi doesn't know how to do that, though, as his prediction is a weapon that works by seeing, thinking, and then moving. He wondered if reversing the process is something a human could do, as Karasu told Isagi to not get ahead of himself while calling him Mr. Ordinary. Isagi didn't like the fact that he came from the worst possible positions as Rin tried to assert himself to Isagi. Nanase is coming as well, and with their triangular formation, they are able to break past the likes of Karasu and Otoya. They do some tiki-taka football as Isagi passed the ball to Hiyori. Isagi knew that as soon as Hiyori passed, Rin and Shud would dash in together because of their ego. Whoever could take control of the shenanigans in the goal area will be the one who scores. Even if Isagi tried to dive into a space where Rin and Shido wouldn't be, his body won't be able to make it in time just like it did before. He wonders where he should hear for, as there's an open space behind Shido, or perhaps he should use Rin's blind spot. Isagi thought that he was an idiot and that it was too late to start thinking after he looked. That thought process wasn't gonna cut it, as he shouldn't think about it and move by feeling. He has to believe in his capabilities, every nerve and every sensation, and reversed it in the moment to create metavision. Hiyori was passing the ball toward the penalty box as the two egoists were about to clash head-to-head for the ball. But little did they know that Isagi was lurking in the shadows, ready to pounce, which resulted in him ramming the ball into the upper left corner of the net. In the 4th spot, we've got the lefty direct shot. In Chapter 212, Isagi cut off Ubers their attack and moved up the field. Isagi realized that his dash jump and fight touch had improved significantly in comparison to the last match, as his body can keep up with his thought process in a more efficient way. The training Isagi did has paid off, as it's time to score off the counterattack. He passed the ball to Corona and steamrolled through the field with him tiki-taka style. Yukimiya was running behind Isagi as he was desperately trying to cut him off, but Isagi anticipated that as he stopped the ball dead center and dashed to Yukimiya's right side as he ran off into the distance. To get past the incoming defender, he deliberately used Yukimiya as bait. He has metavision and the body to maximize it, as well as he's evolving. Kaiser tries to deny him this time, but gets shut down by Lorenzo. Isagi is charging into the defensive line with Corona as he suddenly runs in between Nico and Aeku, which resulted in Corona lob passing the ball over the two defenders to Isagi. But little did he know that Ness was trying to deny him the chance, as it's his job to crush him by any means necessary. After Ness studied Isagi's shot, he realized that it was trash, as he reckoned that a defective shot that you can only shoot with your right foot wouldn't be that much of a problem, because once he knocks him off balance, he's finished. Isagi didn't think so, as he had something else up his sleeve, which is how the lefty direct shot was born. In the third spot, we've got the lucky direct shot. In chapter 147, Itoshi Rin tapped the ball away from Sei as it flew over the U-20 defenders towards the egoist Isagiyoichi as he rammed the ball into the right upper corner of the net. In second place, we've got the chemical reaction into a direct shot. In chapter 238, Hiyori was moving up the field as Isagi was playing off Hiyori's movements to receive the final pass, but Ryu refused to let Isagi move freely. Kaiser has the intention of snatching away the winning goal as he gets closer to Isagi. Hiyori could already see Isagi scoring the winning goal, as this was Isagi's cue to run past the Uber's defenders and Michael Kaiser, as everyone started to realize that the egoists weren't even looking at each other. Hiyori launched the ball into the air towards the penalty box as Isagi confidently got past everyone and had the goal all to himself. By clashing and crossing their visions of becoming the best player in the world, Isagi was able to properly prepare and launch his direct shot into the net. And finally, in first place, we've got the two-gun volley direct shot. In chapter 257, Isagi was preparing to receive Hiyori's pass, as that's his top performance. Isagi told Hiyori that he would take it from here, as it's time for Isagi to deliver his top performance while surrounded by PXG players, which is where he sidestepped and went for a diagonal run. Shido Ryusei caught up to him and was prepared to shut him down, as Isagi moved away from the ball's drop point to give Kunigami the room to follow Isagi's vision as he headbutted the ball to Isagi. This is the ego Isagi wanted to see. Up until now, Kunigami has refused to pass and tried to score by himself, which is why nobody would have predicted that he'd pass in this situation. This is a top performance combo that only they could create as Isagi broke through, which means that all that's left is the goal. But little did he know that Itoshi Rin was anticipating every move he made, just like the good old times, and told Isagi that he was too lukewarm. He told Isagi to not forget about him, as Isagi was shocked about his arrival for some reason. It doesn't end there, though, as we finally saw Excuse Me Part 3 being initiated. And it even was the Raider edition, which makes it much better.
This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
And also makes it look like some medieval video game. Kaiser and Rin are only fixated on Isagi's movements, which explains how they reacted to him so quickly. Instead of reading the game's flow and situation, they solely focused on the plays that would allow them to destroy him, which was their top performance, up until Kaiser started to act extremely unorthodox. There's no way Isagi could predict this, as he just has to keep thinking and reach the ball first. Rin wanted Isagi to shoot so that he could destroy every direct shot course that he could possibly come up with. Kaiser wanted Isagi to trap it, which is when he visioned to steal the ball and score a goal. But neither of it came true, as Isagi was wondering if he should shoot, trap, go right, or go left, which was when he came up with the ingenious idea to create a new attack. He made a feint with his left leg, as Kaiser thought that he would trap it with his right. But he didn't do that either, as he rammed the ball into the net instead, which was where the two-gun volley was born. Watch this video next, where I explain why Isagi versus Kaiser isn't close.